Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Now today guys, I've got a bit of a disaster sad type of video, but hopefully this is going to be saved. Now this is my little Neobauxbamia cactus plant seedling. I know, look at it guys. That is just over a year and a half old. I sowed this seed back in July 2018 and quite a few germinated, but sadly this is the only one that survived long term. The other ones just sort of died back, which often what happens with seedlings, often you'll sow them and you get good germination rate. That's the easy part. The hardest part is getting seedlings to live long term. But this one was doing very, very well, and as I say, it was a year and a half old. Very well. Happy new growth on it, absolutely no problem. We have it under the grow lights in our grow room. But then today we checked all our plants as usual in the grow rooms, and sadly this little seedling here has succumbed to what looks like black rot. And it's not the more common rot where, especially with seedlings, that you see coming from the base up. This is actually in the middle of the plant. As you can see, completely in the middle of the plant. So I don't know what's going on with it, but I would imagine that it's rotting inside of the plant, possibly some type of dry rot. If it's wet rot, then it's just going to go within hours, a couple of days, this will all be black and gone. So in this video, we're going to see if we can do an emergency save, cut the top of it off, and hopefully if the black isn't in the middle of the core of the plant and spread down, it can be saved. And then if it can be, we're going to dust the top off with cinnamon, pure cinnamon powder, which helps as a bit of a fungicide as well, and let it callus over. Hopefully it should regrow from where it's been cut at the base in the springtime. Now, me and Hans have done a few videos on how to save a cactus from rot, and I'm going to include these videos in this video at the end of this video, at the end screens. There should be at least 2 or 3, possibly 4 different videos on how to save a cactus from rot. Both rot from the top of the plant, where you have to cut the top off, as in this case, and also from the base of the plant. We've had to do a complete cutting from the base and reroute it as a cutting again. So do check them videos out if you have your cactus rotting in any form at all. Sometimes, and very often, they can be saved. As we did with them videos, but we've never had it happen with a seedling. We've had seedlings rot, and that, that's life, but usually it's just from the base, and they're that small you can't save them. This, I think, is possible if the rot hasn't spread down any further to be saved. So this is what we're going to be doing in this video. And I've got my wonderful fiance who is behind the camera at the moment, filming me and going to be helping with me doing this whole procedure, guys. So if you're not familiar with Hansi, my wonderful fiance, do please check his lovely YouTube, his amazing YouTube channel out called Family Cactus and Other Beauties. Links up above. And what I'm going to be doing, because I have no problem with scissors and normal knives and pruning shears and anything else like that, but when it comes to using scalpels, which is what we're going to be using with this, because it is such a small, tiny little seedling that we have to have a clean cut, and a scalpel is the best. I'm scared of scalpels, guys, to the point where I have a bit of a phobia, so I'm going to be passing it on to Hans to cut the seedling. So I'm going to then take over the camera, and he's going to do it and go through the procedure with you. But basically what we've done here, we've got obviously a scalpel, which we going to be sterilising here with pure isopropyl alcohol. You can also sterilise it with boiling water. We're going to dipping it into this, so completely clean knife or scalpel there, and that's the same if you're using shears or anything else when it comes to pruning and cutting and taking cuttings, because if you have any fungus or bacteria, anything on a knife, and then you're cutting rot off, then not only is it going to spread, but you're infecting the plant further with whatever's on the knife. So it's absolute sterilisation is paramount. And cinnamon powder. I've often used sulphur powder in the past when I've cut cacti, saved them from rot. I've often dusted them with sulphur powder, but I sort of prefer cinnamon powder now. They're both good. I like cinnamon. It's more easy to get for most people around the world, and it's cheap as anything, and it's very effective to use on the cut. You don't necessarily have to use any type of powder if you're saving a cactus from rot, but it does give a bit of extra protection against fungus, especially in the winter at this time of year, and a high humidity about. in winter. So there we go, guys. That's a little bit about what we're going to be doing. As I say, I have no idea if this plant can even be saved. It may be beyond saving, but we're going to share the video anyway, because we've never had this happen to a seedling like this in the middle. So if this happens to you and it can be saved, you might be able to save your seedlings. Hopefully it won't happen, but if ever it does. So here we go. I'm going to take over the camera now. I'm going to film Hansi doing the operation.
Hi guys, here is the surgeon, plant surgeon. I have been operated for surgeon many times, so I know that scalpels do wonders, but only if they are clean. So we start with the alcohol, and so we have clean instruments, so to speak. So this is not for drink, this is only for take away bacteria and things like that. So it's gonna be totally clean, and this is a good way to do it. So I have to dry this now, because this is clean, and I don't want to contact any other things, because these other things I don't know how clean that are. Yeah, I will free this plant from the pot so I can come into it as good as possible. Here they are.
Has a good little root system as well.
Yeah, I think so,
it?
yeah. So it's no problem with the roots, and that's good.
Something's attacked the stem, hasn't it?
Yeah, so it's a lot of areoles here, so I can shoot again. Yeah,
brilliant. Fingers crossed, guys.
Yeah, we hope for the best.
Oh, poor little seedling. As I say, it's the last one I got out of the whole lot we sowed.
It's not easy to find in plant shops either.
No, Neobauxbamia polylophus. This one is not it's a very rare one. We got gifted seeds from a friend here.
You can start here and see right under there. So
always under the black.
I don't want to cut more than I have to.
Fingers crossed, guys.
Yeah, it's
clean. It's clean.
So there we go.
Happy days. And that's the most important thing, guys, because if you cut into it and it's black still, then you have to cut further down and further down till there's absolutely no traces of black at all. Because one tiny little dot of brown or black and it will continue to spread. So I'm happy to say that is it completely clean there. And there's enough of this little seedling left, as you can see. There's enough of it where it's going to make it, I believe. Obviously this is going to callus over in time, and hopefully in the spring this will then reshoot from, these are all the areoles all around the edges there, these little areoles will then reshoot and it will carry on growing again. So very happy about that. And as I say, you can leave it clean like that, but I'm going to dab on a tiny bit of cinnamon powder now, because that gives it a little bit of extra protection. And when you're taking you're trying to save plants here, when you're removing cutting, so you're taking cuttings from the top or base to save the rot, it's really paramount that fungus doesn't go onto the top. Usually spring and summertime, when the air is drier, they can dry up a lot quicker, but this time, let's say it's the middle of winter, it's January now, not the best time to be doing this, but this is an emergency. And even though we're going to be keeping this in the house in a dry spot away from direct sunshine, certainly not in the grow light, it's going to keep it in a shady spot in a dry, arid room here in the house, it's still chance infection could set in before it has a chance to callus over. So the cinnamon powder or the sulphur powder, in this case the cinnamon, works very well. So Hansi, I'm going to put this back to Hansi now to carry on filming. I'm going to put the cinnamon on. I've got the easy bit. As I'm scared of scalpels, guys. So here we go. And this cinnamon powder, as I say, what I would not be doing is this is a completely clean brush. completely clean, just out of a little package. These are like little lip brushes that you can get from some of the chemists on the makeup counters and things like that. Just come out of the package. This is clean. And this powder is completely clean. We don't use it for anything else. And what I wouldn't be doing is putting that in and then rubbing it and then putting it back in again. I'm just going to be doing this once like this, as you see, and just carefully sprinkling it on there. That's just, rather than, you don't want too much of it on either. And that's really all you have to do. It just gives a bit of protection. And that's it. I'm not going to be putting the brush back in there. So the cinnamon powder is always kept clean. And there we go, guys. So what we're going to be doing, as I say, we're going to keep it probably out the pot now, and just keeping that completely dry, obviously, and away from direct sunshine and heat, strong heat, obviously. Certainly not under the grow lights, just in a cool, dry, bright room. And I'll do an update on this little cutie in the future to let you all know how it goes, guys. And hopefully, come spring, it should reshoot again. And if this happens to yours and you have that rot in the middle, then you'll know what to do, even if it's rot from the top. The worst is when it's rot from the base and it comes all the way through from the core of the cactus, because nothing you can really do then, especially on one so small. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to know a little bit more on how to grow cacti and succulents, including how to grow cactus from seed, please do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And big thumbs up to Hansi, my wonderful fiance, who has been filming and did an amazing job at surgery today. I want to send you, and check the other videos I've made on rot, if this ever happens to your plants, guys. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye.